Well, hello, it's Kirsten. How are you? It's Friday. It's Friday. Isn't that exciting? I love it when it's Friday. You happy it's Friday? Do you know what it means when it's Friday? It means it's testimony day. So we're going to do a couple of testimonies. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about, you'll see that the subject title today is cholesterol, hormones, depression, and libido. Oh my. So I wanted to chat a little bit. Okay, this is what preceded this whole conversation. I was chatting with somebody today, and remember, so I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. Just kidding, I don't. But I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But I do like to just chat with people because they so somebody reached out to me and she's a customer and she wanted to chat about a few things. And we started talking about cholesterol and statins and whatever. And so I like to just give people resources. Like you go and look this stuff up for yourself because you have to make sure that, everything is the way that you need it to be, right? And so I was talking to her about Maria Emmerich and about just I think that was with her anyway, but talking about, because I love Maria Emmerich's information, right? Her and her husband Craig, and they have a lot of information on cholesterol. But then there's Dr. Ken Berry, there's Dr. Eric Berg, there's who else was I talking to her about? Oh, Dr. Gary Brecka. So there's this whole world of people who believe differently than maybe we, than the mainstream would like follow along, right? So having said that, we're talking about cholesterol and statins. And so I wanted to bring you just a little bit of information about this, like food for thought, something for you guys to like chew on and go and research yourselves, okay? Because for real, what did I just write down? I just wrote it down. The statin drug industry. Hold on, I got it right here in my notebook. The statin drug industry is, and I know that there are a lot of people, I know that if I'm thinking about stuff like this, other people are too. That's why I bring it up. $35 billion in sales. $35 billion in sales. I'm assuming that's annually, right? And that also means that, if you think about it, so like the NFL is like 10 billion a year. So statins alone, just one med is 35 billion. So gosh, I should probably be careful about saying, and it doesn't matter. Okay. So I don't want to get flagged or anything on anything. So we'll be careful. All right. So with Maria Emmerich, she's talking about how when hormones or cholesterol is needed in your body for so many things. First, I'll start with this, and this isn't from her. This is just regular basic information. So these are the things that you need cholesterol for. So your body actually creates cholesterol. Your liver creates cholesterol for a lot of different reasons. And so to know that is very, very helpful. Okay. Cell membrane structure, like 1/3 of every cell is made out of cholesterol. Hormone production. So that might be where the libido issue comes in when we're bringing everything down, down, down. Okay, hold on. So hormone production, cholesterol serves as a precursor for the synthesis of steroid hormones such as cortisol, aldosterone, estrogen, and testosterone. These hormones play key roles in regulating metabolism, immune function, stress response, and reproduction. Number 3, bile acid synthesis. That's what cholesterol helps with. So it's necessary for the production of bile acids in the liver, which aid in the digestion and absorption of fats and fat-soluble vitamins in the small intestine. Cholesterol is needed for vitamin D synthesis. It's a precursor for the synthesis of vitamin D in the skin upon exposure to sunlight. So just think about that. If you're bringing it down, 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 are you producing the vitamin D? Are we deficient in vitamin D? Usually we are. In fact, that's a very common thing to be deficient in. Has anybody ever had vitamin D tests done? I'd love to know if you guys have ever done that. It's essential for calcium, vitamin D, essential for calcium absorption, bone health, and immune function, right? So also nerve function. Cholesterol is needed for nerve function. It's vital for the proper functioning of nerve cells. And by the way, if you're on the replay, let me know. I'd love to know where you're coming in from. Let me know if you're on the replay. Cholesterol is vital for the proper functioning of nerve cells. It helps in the formation and maintenance of the myelin sheaths, which are the protective coverings around the nerve fibers. That's for so sometimes people can have neuropathy when they have not enough good nerve function. Cell signaling. Cholesterol plays a role in cell signaling pathways, including those involved in growth, development, and inflammation. So inflammation is a really big piece of this puzzle. And then brain health. So I was talking to her about how, my mom had dementia and she was actually not on statins. I think she said no to that. And but we were talking about the fact that in all of the different pieces of the puzzle that come together for why do we have this increase in brain, how is deficiency the right word, brain whatever, when you're talking about dementia, you're talking about all of these alterations and whatever. One of these pieces, some would say, are coming from that specific script. I got to be careful, right? Hey, Kat, good to see you. Good to have you on. You know what? There's a good and a bad, but overall, no. So what is happening is some people are saying, and again, everybody has to go do their own research, but some people are saying that what's happening is they keep lowering the number so that the amount of scripts and the amount of dosage keeps going up. But the fallout of this would be then, let's just go to the next period of this process where when you keep bringing it down and bringing it down, you can end up with impaired cell membrane function because cholesterol is a critical component of cell membranes. Extremely low levels of cholesterol can disrupt cell membrane structure and function throughout your entire body. Number 2, hormone imbalances. So this is where we talk about how sometimes then there's a common denominator oftentimes between being put on that kind of a script and being given another one for anti-sadness. Does that sound familiar? Whether it's for you or somebody that you know, oftentimes those two end up going together because when you're bringing down the cholesterol, and cholesterol is need to create hormones, and hormones are the whole conversation when it comes to being able to have, happiness feelings, happy hormones, right? You don't want your happy hormones to go down. So sometimes then there's a second script that goes along and it's an anti-sadness one. And some people don't make that connection. Increased risk of mental health disorder. Oh, there. I think we're good now. I think I unmuted it. I think I'm good. Tell me, Phoenix, if I'm good.
Yep, I get it.
Okay, he can hear me. Good. Okay. So it's okay here on Facebook. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Andy. Oh, you're so nice. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what happened, this is why I end up talking about this stuff. Yay. Okay, great. Yay. Is because, so I talk a lot about insulin resistance, right? So my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and my dad died of type 2 diabetes when he was 63. So I'm a little girl and I'm growing up with a dad who is insulin dependent, and he's doing about 2 injections a day, etc. But he does all of it. He does the the open heart surgery, the quadruple bypass, the pacemaker, the kidney dialysis, he does it all, right? And then he dies at 63. And so, and I was even talking to this lady this morning on this consult just about how, like, at some point you're like, okay, just they keep adding to his lazy Susan of medications is what was happening. And at some point then as an adult past 30, I ask myself, like, I don't get it. Like, why is it so why do we keep going into this direction? Why does there seem to not be the help that you would think? And so then as I'm fast forward, like now to, because I'm 59 now, so fast forward to like about 4 years ago, well, long before that, I had already been having all of these, I'd already been going down this road 13 years ago. I started to deal with my own insulin resistance. But about 4 years ago, really having a lot of conversations about how you get these packages, like these bundles of meds. They come in bundles. And now I am not on any medication. I'm 59. I'm not on any meds. I am not a doctor or anything like that. But I do want people to start thinking for themselves. And I want people to start asking questions and do their own research, right? And so I have resources that I just give to people, tell them to go and look things up. Because why is it that if you are insulin resistant, that seemingly you usually have high blood pressure, you usually have high cholesterol. They're usually putting you on the STAT med. They're putting you on high blood pressure, and they're putting you on, sometimes then it goes along with an anti-sadness. And then there's usually another one in there. Well, then because if your blood glucose is up, then you're on MET. Right? So you're on this like bundle, like it's like a cable bundle, right? And it's really frustrating because there are all of these different side effects. And I think that I didn't really start piecing a lot of this together until like around 4 years ago, probably a little further than that, when we started taking care of my mom. Because then all of a sudden you're managing all of this stuff and you're like, okay, whoa, like what's going on and what's causing what? Because, if you have dementia like she did, you can't assess yourself. So we had to be her assessor. We had to be her assisted living. We had to be her everything, right? And so all of a sudden it really became a piece of just something that we did and something that we researched. It was a very natural progression. So we're talking about how when you bring it down, the problem is that you can end up, when you bring cholesterol down, there are actually side effects to that. Like you want your cholesterol, your brain needs cholesterol. So impaired cell membrane function, hormone imbalances, which that's the sadness part, increased risk of mental health disorders because your brain needs cholesterol. It's made up of cholesterol, impaired fat soluble vitamin absorption, which is including your A, D, E, and K. So like if you're taking a D3K, it's fat soluble. You want to take that with fat. And a weakened immune response. So now I'm just going to go over to Maria Emmerich for a second and give you just a little bit of this, and then I'll give you a couple of testimonies, and then we'll be done. But basically what she's talking about is she's saying that your brain is over 60% cholesterol. Like dementia is really hard. I'm just going to say that. Dementia is really hard. It's hard on the person, and it's hard on the family, and it's hard on the system, and it's hard on everything. It's challenging, right? So let's just piece some of these things together and really do the best we can, all right? So your brain is over 60% cholesterol. When we starve our brain and cells of this valuable nutrient, it has been proven to increase risk of sadness by 300%. That's a little shocking. And then she goes into a study published by the Cochrane Library, 34,000 patients, found evidence of short-term memory loss, sadness, mood swings that had been deliberately underplayed by the companies that were funding the research. So she says that even though these meds cause a greater risk of even though statin drugs cause a greater risk of toxic liver, kidney failure, muscle damage, depression, and cataracts, they are still being pushed to the public as a preventative measure. Women are often mistakenly pushed on these cholesterol-lowering drugs after menopause because cholesterol makes hormones. If your body, your ovaries, are no longer producing these hormones, your cholesterol goes up to try to make your body to do so. So if you have your cholesterol checked, most doctors are alarmed and they mistakenly place menopausal women, this is according to Maria Emmerich, they place menopausal women on these drugs to try to forcefully push it down. This is also why men who take statins, this is a listen up now. If you happen to be a guy paying attention, otherwise tell your guys. This is why men who take them also have a lower sex drive, and they also take Viagra because cholesterol, you need cholesterol to make hormones. So that's that key in there. That's that piece. So now the bundle just added another med. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. And she just goes on and talks about that. And so she actually has on her blog. So her blog is mariamindbodyhealth.com. And she has a couple of different articles on there about cholesterol. Craig wrote one about the cholesterol myth, etc. But some of the resources that I'll give you here would be like Dr. Eric Berg. He's a really good explainer of things. He's very clear and concise, and he would be you could look these guys up on YouTube. Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Gary Brecka, Maria Emmerich. Excellent work here. Anita, you're so encouraging. You're so good. Yes, they are an excellent work. They really, really are. They have so many good resources to give people. It's amazing. And I feel like that's probably a good start for anybody who wants to do some research on that, because people will ask me that question, should we be taking this one script? And of course, I would never tell anybody to not take something, but I would tell somebody to go research it. And for those who are already curious, they're like, oh, I'm on it, right? Because they do want to know what actual, there's literally a site out there, something like, cardiologists against statins. So things like that. Yeah. You like Dr. Eric Berg. I know. So do I use him a lot. So going right now then into so I talk a lot about insulin resistance because it really is the precursor to pretty much everything. I mean, I just hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it really is, because what's happening is when you are insulin resistant, your insulin is high in your body and you have so much inflammation going on, and inflammation is the core of disease. It's not eating animal fat. Oh, you're so sweet. I appreciate you so much. And so this is, we have to understand that your body creates cholesterol for a purpose, right? And that purpose is actually to go in and repair those walls. And so it has been, you don't want to take your firefighters away. You don't want to do that, right? But when we go back and we scale it all the way back to insulin resistance. So I started my insulin resistance in my 20s. I wasn't really thinking clearly about the whole situation. And so I didn't do anything about it until I was in my 40s. And so now what I do is I can help people with targeted supplementation and then changing out food. So I do have a Facebook group, and you can always go to my my website, KirstenLiebelt.com, and you can jump into the Facebook group. There's a Facebook blue button. But what I want to do is every Friday, I've been coming and bringing testimonies. I think this is our 4th week that we're doing this. And I do this because I want people to have a lot of hope. So when I talk to women and I say, listen, I really, really am convinced that women are sliding into their 40s. They're insulin resistant. They don't know it. And they're having issues with their weight. They're gaining weight. They're not being able to lose weight. The old things aren't working anymore. And what happens is when we start to view things through the lens of insulin resistance, and we can, and we target that system in your body, it's amazing the things that happen, because one of the symptoms of insulin resistance is you are craving carbs and sugar. One of the symptoms would be that you're exhausted. And one of the symptoms is you can't lose weight. And so I've been collecting, I grab these testimonies. These are coming to me. They're not coming to anybody. They're literally a part of my universe. I just screenshot them on my camera roll. So if you're on Instagram, I have some that are in the highlight bubble, and I have some that are pinned to the top of the page, but it's not the whole collection at all. But anyway, and in the Facebook group, you can go and get, I do once a month, I do a 5-day challenge, and you can jump in there, and we're going to start the next one on March 4th. And that's really fun because then we do some like deep dive into like my background and to insulin resistance and my pantry and fridge and supplements and like a recipe. And we kind of kick it all around, and it's really fun. But anyway, these are my 4 for this week. Okay. So somebody says to me, she says, reaches out and she goes, I cannot find the link to order the trio. The trio are the 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I purchased it back in December, but I just started using it and it's working, and I need to reorder. So that was really kind of fun. I love that one. This one says, Kirsten, yes, I got the trio, and so far, so good. I'm excited about this journey. I will be signing up for auto delivery, which is just for anybody who's already a customer of mine. You can sign up for Ditto, DITTO. Up at the top of your screen, there's like a little person icon, and you can click on it. And in the drop down, it says Ditto. And you can put each product in there, and then you're going to double your cash off of future orders because you're doubling your points. So FYI, for everybody who's trying to cut a corner or make their money work for them, this is how you make the things that you're already using work for you. So I'm excited about this journey. I will be signing. Okay. And for now, she's going to add the carb blocker. That's very helpful. Not having bread has been her challenge, and so she thinks she needs the carb blocker. Blah, 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 blah. I'm feeling positive about it all. I did want to say, oh, she's just being so nice. So she's basically saying that it's working, and she appreciates me and my willingness to help. And she just feels like she's not so alone, because she resonates with my story. And I really appreciate that, because when you can resonate with somebody who's actually like, this has been their world, it's very nice and helpful, because I feel like we do think we're just crazy for the longest time until we can get the research that we need to understand the alternative viewpoint on things, because you just you don't say anything because, censorship is real. Just going to say that. So anyway, having said that, the next one is, I asked her how she was doing, and she said, so far, yes, less sugar cravings. This is the one that most people want to listen up to. Less sugar cravings and not feeling hungry. Okay, so if that is something that you're looking for, less sugar cravings and not feeling hungry. Okay, and the reason why this is, now her energy, she said, with all transparency, she said her energy is not yet there. This was, I think, it was either 1 or 2 weeks into it. And so what happens is when your cell is saying no to the insulin and the fuel, because it's just been too much, it kind of closes, the door is closed. Now that fuel is not getting into your cell for energy, so you're tired. But also too, then your body needs energy, and so it's thinking, I need fast energy, like pine. Like if you have a fire going and you throw pine into the fire, it burns fast. It burns hot, but it burns fast, right? As opposed to putting oak into a fireplace, right? So if you put pine in there, your body is calling out for pine, and pine is like the carbs and the sugar. It's calling out for fast glucose. Just give me something, give me a fix. I need energy. And so your cravings are like on this hamster wheel of, I need carbs, I need sugar, I need, because I need something fast for energy, because your cell is not getting the energy. The door has been closed because you're insulin resistant. Now, not everybody is, but if you are, if you live with these symptoms, if you're having trouble with your weight, if you're having trouble with all of these things, that's what's happening. And then the last one, this was really fun. This was last night, and she DM'd me on Instagram, and she says, I'm going to stop stalking you, but I had to tell you that every single night I end up in the kitchen about this time. I'm not tonight. How does that work? Amazing. And again, that goes back to all of a sudden, the cravings are simmering down. And I feel like some of the best testimonies are that it just calms your mind about food. because your hamster wheel is slowing down. And that's mainly because if you can bring down your insulin and you can bring down your sugars, your glucose, your blood glucose levels, and this is why I teach food along with all of this. You have to fix what gets you into the pickle to begin with. That's how you can simmer down the cravings, etc. Right? So that's very, very cool. Very fun. So anyway, so if you want to know anything more about the trio now on Instagram, I always have to make this claim because the minute the live is done, I can't see your comments anymore. So you have to come back to the video after I post it and put trio or just DM me. I'm always available in my DMs. And Facebook and YouTube and stuff, you guys can always just put trio. And then I'll just get you information about that. But don't forget that I do have a free Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And so you can go into KirstenLiebelt.com, my first and last name.com. And there's a Facebook blue button there for you. There's also a couple of video recipes that you can grab. One of them is the egg white bread that I make. It's a step-by-step tutorial. And the second one is actually sugar-free chocolate pudding. And I love having that one available because to me, it's like, it's such a cool recipe. Those are both Maria Emmerich things that I've tweaked. I give her all the credit. But the chocolate pudding one, it's homemade chocolate pudding, you guys. You make it in your blender and you're using cooked egg whites. So it's making it high protein, it's sugar-free, and it tastes so good. My husband says it tastes like a chocolate pudding that he ate as a little boy. So I don't know what that was, or, anyway, just so good. So you can make different recipes and start like getting things into your repertoire. But if you want to be a part of the challenge, it's free. And it starts on March 4th, Monday, March 4th. And I get excited about that because every month that I do this, people get layers of understanding, and then they can change things in their world. And then it's so much fun to watch people's journeys go into a different direction so that they don't have to live with insulin resistance, with all the weight gain, with the inability to lose weight. Like, I felt like it was a stomach punch to find out that it gets worse after, menopause. Like, what do you mean this gets worse? What do you mean? I was already not loving this. And so from, us girls, it's like, it's challenging, right? Like, it gets so, so anyway, you are so welcome, Pamela. You are so welcome. So anyway, all right, everybody have a super blessed night. Tonight, I'm going to go with my husband and we're going to go to the theater and we're going to actually watch, I don't know if you guys have seen The Chosen, but there's 3 more episodes that are out. And so we're going to go watch a movie, and it's Friday night, baby. So onward and upward. And I'm so excited, but you guys have a wonderful night and I will see you very, very soon. And if you ever need anything, my DMs are open. Give me a holler. See you guys later.